and welcome to the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speaker Series. I am your host, James Thomas Sr., and it is indeed a pleasure to be with you tonight. We're going to have an awesome show, and we're going to have a few announcements, a couple of announcements. But before we do, I just want to say thank you for being here this evening. And the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speaker Series is a conversation with fascinating people with interesting careers. And tonight, I'm going to introduce you to a comedic actor, and you're going to enjoy the show and enjoy meeting this brother. And we're going to have a couple of commercial breaks and announcements. And then we're going to be back with our show. So this is the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speakers Series, a conversation with comedic actor Rod Minger. We'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, I love doing live broadcasts. It's so much fun, but something always goes wrong. It does not matter. Something is going to go wrong when you do live broadcasts. But I love it. I love being unorthodox. I don't like following the script. I don't like everything just perfect, just mapped out perfectly. I like to just wing it sometimes. And that's one of the things I love about the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speaker Series. And I want to introduce to our audience, and we are broadcasting via the Words of Wisdom TV network, as well as the Black Entertainment Magazine Facebook page and my personal Facebook page as well. So, and also, if you have not subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe to our two TV channels, our two networks, the Words of Wisdom TV network, as well as the Expect to Win TV. Uh, Subscribe to both of those channels. I would greatly appreciate it. And but tonight, here on the Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speaker Series, like I said, this is live TV and I'm coming live from Los Angeles, and had all kind of technical difficulties trying to upload a video so that you guys could see this brother in action. But I came across him just really by accident. I was scrolling and looking at looking for some interesting things on YouTube, and I came across a video with our guest tonight and a couple, comedian Lonnie and TK, and it had me in stitches. I said, I gotta talk to this brother. I mean, the three of them together was just comedy gold. And I encourage you to, and we'll give out the information and all of that. And it's really, it's kind of hard to show his clips also because his clips are not PG rated. Let's put it like that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Words of Wisdom speaker series. Tell somebody, call somebody, tell them to tune in at the Words of Wisdom TV network on YouTube as I bring to you our guest tonight, one of the funniest brothers I've seen on TV or online. And this is comedic actor, Mr. Rod Minger. Let's get him in here. There he is.
There he is. Mr. James, what's going on, buddy?
Dr. Rod.
What's going on, buddy?
I need a therapy.
Hey, man.
A therapy session.
Hey, you gotta pay for that. You gotta pay for that, man. They don't come free.
I got a cash app.
You gotta give me that cash app, man. I need it before I even show up. I don't even leave the house until I get my cash app. Until I see a little money slip in the top left-hand corner of my phone, I don't move. I stay in one spot. That's what I do.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for being here. And we had a couple of miscommunications, but the only thing that matters is we here right now.
Correct. So and that's what matters. The right now is what matters.
That's it. That's it. Where are you, bro? Where are you tonight?
I am in Loganville filming some skits. Actually, I'm filming a brand new Dr. Rod that's going to come out next week. And I had it on my calendar. I had it set up, so I took a break, and everybody's eating, and then I'm downstairs in the office, secluded to myself, doing this.
All right. Well, thank you for making time. So, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? I tried to do a little justice, but let me say, man, you really, man, when I need a laugh now, I can go to your skit. And I tried to upload the last skit you and Jessica did.
Yes.
And about the Derek Jackson.
Oh yeah, that did really well. That did really well.
But tell people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, you did me a nice reputation. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a comedic actor. Let's see. Basically, moved here to Atlanta in about 2007. And I've been here ever since. I moved here with my clothes in my trunk to chase my dreams. And that's what I did. I came up here. It's been a roller coaster ride, but right now the roller coaster is going really well. So I'm doing okay, man. So I'm just, once the quarantine hit, I got a little more heavy into the content creating versus waiting on the game to come to me. I wanted to take the game to the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Why comedy? I hear all comedians say this is the hardest form of entertainment. Why did you choose comedy?
I didn't choose comedy. I came from a hilarious family. My grandmother was hilarious. My grandfather was also hilarious. My mom is funny. And I grew up where, comedy was just natural conversation. I mean, if we was having dinner, we were laughing. If we were watching TV together, we were laughing. If we was leaving church, we were laughing. And, somebody was always getting roasted or getting joked on, or somebody was always the butt of a joke. And so the humor that I have that y'all see on screen is actually really natural. Sometimes I'm not even trying to be funny. Like you see in most of the skits, I'm being dead serious because those are just places I can pull from where I've been at those real places in life. All of my skits are based on characters I've either seen or I've been a part of, or as a piece of me, all blended together. So it just comes natural. And then, so now I'm just able to get all my thoughts out and put them into skits and put them into characters and then kind of let them play out. Right.
And I did a little research on you, and to be a comedian, and I found, like I said, it's one of the hardest forms. But there was a time in your life you went through some things that you really thought about giving up on this business, correct?
Yes, I went through a really nasty divorce in 2014, and it kind of made me lose my. I guess I'm being facetious when I say this, but it made me lose my funny bone. So I was still able to perform, but I didn't have the spirit and the energy to go with it. So I felt like I needed to take a break because I wasn't doing myself a service or either the industry a service by being going through a dark time and trying to be funny at the same time. So I took a corporate job at a college and I worked there for 2 years. And then my prayer from that moment, I was like, when I took the job, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm just taking this corporate job and ride it out till I die, right? But then my prayer when I was praying at night, I was praying for healing from the divorce. And I was like, God, if you want me to get back into entertainment, make it so clear where I can't miss it. And about a year and a half after me stopping, I'm sitting at my grandmother's house in Alabama, like I said, she's a funny person. And I get a phone call from Bianca Burrell and tells me that she was working with this event with a comedian by the name of MC Lightfoot. And she's like, hey, he heard about you through the grapevine. He would like for you to open up for this event he has next week. Can you do 30 minutes? Now, mind you, I hadn't done comedy in almost 2 years, so I didn't have 30 minutes. But I was like, sure. And I took that like a sign, like, okay, there's my sign. Like, I didn't have to come back and like start over. It didn't feel like I was starting over. Like, running this to open mic, running to that open mic. I'm begging this person for some time, begging this person for some time. I feel like I got put right back where I left off and got a chance to come back stronger than I left. Sorry about that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's so funny. So it sounds like your tragedy led to an open door. How did you do that? I mean, you said your faith and your prayer. Obviously, you wanted God to give you an open door.
Correct.
What made you believe that this was the open door as opposed to a counterfeit?
Well, because what it was, I think I was at a space at that time in life where I had to just get back in tune with myself. I don't know if you know any guys that have been through divorce, man, but you lose yourself. That's for me. TV and social media make it like, only women lose themselves when they have bad marriages, right? And I was like, that's not how it is. Sometimes dudes lose themselves as well. So the first thing I did was I went to a counselor, which I love to talk about very transparently because I feel like in the Black community, we don't seek counsel enough when we go through dark times. And that's why we grow up and be 60 and 70 years old and still have all this past trauma that we've never talked to anybody about from when we were like 20 something years old. I didn't want that to be my case. I knew I had a hurt that I had never felt before, and I needed to do something drastic to get past it. So then I went to counseling before and after I left my marriage. And then I got to the point where I started kind of being normal around my normal surroundings, the job I had, my friends, my circle, and they were always laughing. And people were like, man, you should go back to doing comedy or acting or something. I'm like, nah, I'm done with that. I was running from it. I was like, that's not my route anymore. I think I've had my time. I'm older now. I was like 31 at the time. I was like, I'm old now. We make ourselves old when we're from the South. I'm 31, so it's over. My life is over, as far as that goes. And then here I am. Everywhere I go, I got everybody gut wrenching with laughter. People are laughing, and they're finally old skits that I was a part of, old TV shows I had, booked one-liners on, and people are like, yo, man, you need to get back into this. And I'm just like, nah, only if it presents itself. And then when the radio station called, it presented itself, and I started back, and I never stopped.
Wow. So how did that? Okay, you went through the divorce, you got back on track. Did that affect your future relationships?
Did it affect? No, I'm engaged right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just got engaged January 3rd. It did make me take a break though. Back then, if that answers your question better. Back then, I took a nice long break, and I kind of chilled out, and then I kind of changed my criteria before I did it again. So once I did that, I got in tune with me, figured out what my real criteria were, what my do's and don'ts were, what I needed to adjust myself. And I think that's another thing in our community. We don't adjust just because somebody wronged you in a marriage or a relationship. Don't mean there weren't some things you can work on. So I wanted to make sure I worked on those things for myself, and I want to have different criteria for who I chose this next time, because this is the last time. And then and just go with the flow, man, and don't worry about past trauma. You know, I leave all this stuff in the review. It happened back there in those years, and this is a new day.
Did therapy help you come to that conclusion?
Yep, it did. And life and time. You know, time heals all wounds. But therapy did help, though.
I kind of wish now we had your fiance on here. I would like to ask her, what is it like being with a funny guy? You know.
She loves it, man. She's actually really funny too. She's not a comedian or anything like that, but she cracks me up, and she probably just says it's fun. She loves to have fun. We're both grown children. You know, we both love to watch Marvel comic films and DC films and anime and stuff like that. And we both like to do kid games. You know, like to go bowling and miniature golf, and you know, still like the water fight. You know, so we do a lot of things that keep us young at spirit. And she looks amazing. She's just turned 36, but she looks, 25. She just like a grown kid. We met on a Disney cruise. We both work for Disney Cruise Lines.
Well, we two brothers talking, so we having a conversation. You have, I'm sure, this lovely fiance, but I do know you work with some fine women.
Okay.
Jessica, Tiffany, B. Lee, TK, And I always wanted to ask an actor, how in the world do you do it? I could not work with Jessica. I would not remember any lines. Just shout out to Jessica. If you watch it, I wouldn't remember not one line. How do you do it?
It's a job. It's a job. It's a level of professionalism. And then, and all those women that you name are very beautiful, but they also are very talented. And it's like you can get on there looking lustful or droomy eye all you want to, and then you're gonna get dusted because those girls are hilarious. Especially TK and B-Lyn and Jessica, they're funny. So and they're professional at what they do and they take their craft serious. So you're not thinking about that when you get there. At that point, you just want the content to be great. It's not enough just to show up and be cute, just like it's no different for a man to show up and be handsome or a woman to show up and be fine. That's not enough. You got to show up and do the job, and that's what's more important than who's fine and who's not.
So how do you get that focus? Because you're human, you're a man.
Correct.
How do you get that focus?
It's not about the focus. That's just my personality. You know what I mean? When I show up to work, I show up to work, no matter how the person looks. I'm going to treat creating content, whether I'm working with a man or a woman, I'm going to treat it the same. I want to do a great job. I want the content to be great. It's not about their look. It's about their talent.
How much in these skits that you guys do is ad lib? Because you did one with TK and Lonnie, and you hit her with a balloon.
Yeah. So
that didn't look like acting.
No. So the good thing I work with the ATL verse or scenarios. Most of what I do is about 80% improv.
Wow. Okay.
So 20% of it is like, okay, this is the scenario, this is what's happening, this is how it needs to begin, and this is how it needs to end. And then the rest, they kind of like, but just do your thing. They trust me. Everybody has like different strengths. And then we all play on each other's strengths together because we all push for each other to win and each other to be great because all of us have different strengths that make us great. So we get together, we want to make sure all of our strengths are put in the right light. Lonnie's madly creative and quick-witted and writes really well. TK has a fast tongue like I do, so she's quick with her improv as well, which I like to bounce off of her. And she's also a great theater actor. And I want people to see more of that with her. Jay Childish is one of the most creative brains I've ever seen. Like, I don't know if you want the stuff he does with his special effects and how he makes stuff blow up. His visuals are just the way he thinks. Jay Childish will have you in the middle of a scene shooting and you think he's explained to you how it works, and he'll be filming the whole thing, and before you know it, he has what he needs. That's how genius his brain is. And then Jamal, I like Jamal because Jamal will pick a character and just, I don't know, and he's mastered it that day. He's like, this is how my character's going to be. He's going to be like the guy that just got jumped, and like, I don't know if you've seen him while I played Tiffany's dad, and Jamal was trying to later. And then he played like this nerdy dude that was like getting pushed over it. but he sticks to the character and he sells it really well. And Tiffany's hilarious as well, and she's actually a good actor as well. So I don't know, everybody just has a blend of things, but I think the overall thing, if you ask all of them, they like to work with me. They're just like, give Rod the scenario, he's going to figure out something that's cool, because I think I'm really great with improv.
Well, that makes sense. That's why you guys' product is so good. Would you say it's an accurate description to say the online or YouTube stars are the new Hollywood? You know, at one time they were saying that Atlanta was the new Hollywood. Now it seems like YouTube is becoming the new Hollywood.
It's definitely presenting a lot of opportunities for creatives to be able to get their stuff out, because I think if we sit down and just try to wait on agents to book us for these parts in movies that we don't even know what's coming, when it's coming, how it's coming, you just wait on the phone to ring all the time. You're waiting to get your alert from Actors Access or, you know, your agent or whatever to tell you, hey, you're going to audition for this role. And you know when you're going in for that role, you audition against thousands of people or hundreds of people, however many it is. And you never know when that's going to come. Now you can sit and twiddle your thumbs and wait for that moment to come. Or you can just create your own stuff where you're working constantly, where you always have something on the way. Something's always like, you know, as soon as I get through this, I'm going back upstairs to shoot some more. Because you always want something coming out. You always want something in rotation, because now with social media, it's harder to stay relevant. So you always got to have something dropping. Something's got to pop out. You got to have something come out of that. And then like I got a big skit, a wrestling skit that comes out next Thursday. Now I'm going to do all this publicity, right? And all this promoting and marketing to make sure that you watch that wrestling skit. But the second you watch it, it's like, now what? You know what I mean? So you always gotta have the thing that you're pushing, and then the thing that's in your pocket that you're gonna pull out next. Because if you just think you're gonna ride off the steam of one thing with content creating, because it's worse than Hollywood. At least Hollywood, you can be in a movie and then that's just gonna spread for a month or two. You know, content created. Somebody's creating something every minute. Something's dropping every minute. If I go to YouTube right now, something's dropping.
Yeah, right. Who do you admire? What comedians or is it comedians that where do you get your motivation?
I grew up motivated by Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock. I loved Sid Entertainer and Steve Harvey Show. You know, so those were like my core group that I grew up like, man, those are the guys. And believe it or not, comedically, he's not a comedian, but I grew up also loving The Rock. You know, his one-liners on wrestling, because I was a big wrestling fan as a kid. And The Rock was the first person I loved wrestling. I love the action of wrestling, but he's the first time I watched wrestling, and I was just like laughing every week at something he said. I'm like, yo, this dude is hilarious. That's awesome. He can just get out there every week, improv, and say whatever he's thinking, and it just goes over. So you got to talk about Eddie Murphy, Martin, Chris Rock, The Rock, Steve Harvey, Sid Entertainer. And then, of course, I mean, Fresh Prince from Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, I loved all those shows. I always loved comedic sitcoms.
Who would be your dream person to work with?
My dream person to work with on camera probably would be, oh man, it's going to be either Eddie Murphy or probably The Rock. One of them. Male wise, and then female wise. Regina Hall, or maybe Taraji P. Henson. I think those two. I think they look like. I wish I could get something with them that was like comedic. I think that would be really dope to work with one of those two.
What do you ever find as a comedic actor that when you're out, you may be out, people want you to be funny all the time?
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that when you're not in the mood to be funny?
Believe it or not, I'm actually off camera. I'm actually fairly quiet. Believe it or not, nobody ever believes that, so it shocks a lot of people. So sometimes when I'm out in the public and maybe somebody recognizes me from a video or they've seen me on something else, they'll expect me to be like try to be the life of the party, but that's just not my style. I'm actually really reserved.
Most people don't believe that about people that are creative.
Nope.
That most of them are really quiet and shy and reserved.
Correct. And then not even that, man. Sometimes you sit down with people and they want you to make them laugh the second you sit down. And I'm like, what makes you think I don't feel like laughing? Maybe I want to laugh. I tell people all the time, like I've sat down with people, they be like, hey man, tell me a joke. I'm like, you tell me a joke. And people get offended. And people, sometimes people get offended, but I'm like, would you tell your friend that's a doctor to doctor on me right quick? Like you wouldn't. Like, why don't you get the doctor stuff and doctor on me right quick? Like nah.
But isn't that a compliment to how good you are with your craft? Because when I look at you, all I think about, somebody better have my cash out.
Nah, man. It's a compliment, but then it's also a curse, because what happens is, and I've had this happen multiple times in my life, and nobody ever understands it, but other comedians or other actors, is sometimes you don't have room to chill. Like I've gone places with people, and I've been on some chill vibes, and then I'm quiet, and then they're whispering like, "What's wrong with him? Is he okay? Is Rod all right? Something wrong with Rod? What happened to Rod? Is he arguing with his girl?" Like they take it way left field. They take it to all these different mountains of, oh, Rod might have an attitude with his girl, or something's going on at home, or Rod must be sick. But actually, Rod's just chilling, and nobody believes you. I'm like, I'm just chilling. Nah, something had to be wrong. Like they'll actually tell you, like, nah, something had to be wrong with you. I'm like, no, I'm not always in the mood to be funny. Sometimes I'm just chilling. I'm actually really like, if you catch me off camera or off stage, most of the time I'm chilling. And people don't.
It sounds like, because like I said, I've heard so many actors and comedians say the same thing. But right. the more famous you get, you have these skits, these videos that go viral. And one of the things, the curses, is that the more people you reach, the more problems you're going to encounter.
Yeah.
So, and I always wondered why, and if you're an actor and this is the business, the craft that you chose, isn't that part of just what goes with the job? I got to be nice to my fans. I got to take pictures.
Yeah. So that's two different things. Being nice and telling jokes is two different things. I'm always nice. I'm a generous person. Okay. But if I come, like, I don't know you, right? But if you invited me to dinner, if you was in town, like, hey, Rod, me and my family having dinner, I would love for you to come and buy you a drink, whatever, right? I pull up. I don't expect to come and sit down and tell jokes for your whole family. I expect to sit down and eat my food and have my drink like everybody else is there for as well. Everybody's there for the same thing. But then when you're the funny person, sometimes people expect you to come in there roasting or cracking jokes on somebody, and that's not what you're on. Now, if they're asking me questions like, hey man, how's it to do this? I'm cordial and I'm going to speak and be nice. And people want to take pictures, I'm going to take pictures. That's fine. It's the people like, hey man, tell me a joke. Why are you not being funny today? Something wrong with you? That's when it comes off aggressive. It's like that has nothing to do with being nice. And that's why you see a lot of the comedic actors where they're in these compilations where people will record how they respond versus to what they did. One of the first ones I seen, Busta Rhymes was going into a bathroom, and this lady was begging like, "Hey, Busta Rhymes, give me a flow." And then he was like, "Yo, give me a second." Real nice and calm. And then she was like, "What an a-hole." He's like, "Dang, I'm an a-hole because I gotta go to the bathroom."
Yeah.
But see, what happens is you don't see the first part. You just see him like, "Yo, hold up a second. I'm an a-hole." Like you see his response, but you don't see what happened that led to his response. And that's right. That's what people. That's the big misconception that I think people miss.
Right. What is your goal? What is your 3 to 5 year plan?
Well, my 3 to 5 year plan right now is I want to get enough content, man, where I can get my subscribers easily over 100,000 by the end of this year. But I'm also steadily with my agents, Gil Talent. I'm constantly auditioning for big roles that are coming to Atlanta. So I would love to book a nice sitcom role, like a recurring character or a series regular or even a lead. Something where I can be on national television weekly while also content creating daily to post on YouTube, and then do that where it's on something that comes out weekly. So the goal is to book a series that can go the distance, something that can go 6 to 8 years.
Okay. Wouldn't it be advantageous to, like you said a few moments ago, you constantly sitting around waiting. How about creating your own?
I am.
Okay.
I already am. I'm doing that as well. But I mean, my ultimate goal has always been on a national television stage. and build that platform up as well while doing my own thing as well. I want to do all of it at the same time. I'm the guy, I don't like to sit still. So if I can create content 2 to 3 days a week and be on a national television set 3 to 4 days a week and do comedy 1 to 2 days a week, I'm having a great time. That's a great schedule for me.
One of the things I love in watching your skits and all the people we mentioned, and it's that you guys shoot a lot of the stuff in the same house or the same location,
right?
That red house.
Yeah.
And you guys don't even try to, go around it or ignore it, or it's just like, I just find that very creative that you can come in, Jessica can be your girlfriend today and be
Right.
Lonnie's tomorrow in the same house, same house. Who is that intentional, or is it a lack of money, or what?
Okay. No, that's intentional. So I'm gonna give you some examples. So you'll think outside the box. Where was 80% of Fresh Prince shot?
Where was it shot? Well, it was supposed to be Bel Air.
No. Where was 80% of the scenes that you've seen on television? Where were they?
In their living room.
Where was 80% of Martin shot?
In his living room.
Where was 80% of the Cosby Show shot?
In their living room.
Where was 90% of Everybody Loves Raymond shot?
In the living room.
Where was 80% of Friends shot?
Yeah, in that living room.
There you have it.
Wow.
I just gave you a whole
lot. That's weird. I never even picked up on that with those other shows.
Perspective. It don't have to be a lot going on. People want to, they make it too difficult. It don't have to be a lot going on. We loved Martin, and Martin was in that living room 85% of the time. We love Fresh Prince. They were in the living room 80% of the time. We love Friends. They was either in their apartment or at the coffee shop. Every single episode. Right. Friends was 10 seasons. Everybody Loves Raymond took place at his house every day. He barely left his house, and that show went for 10 seasons.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I never, until this moment, I never even realized that.
Yep.
What about, now you mentioned Jay, because to me, I always figured Jay is like the most quiet and reserved out of everybody for some reason.
Right.
But you said it sounds like he's one of the most creative behind the camera.
To me, yes. To me, Jay is the most creative. Even when you watch his videos, he got the most creative theme song. He has the most creative intro. He has some of the most creative storylines, and he's just naturally gifted. And he's always a pleasure to work with. And really, he actually is quiet and reserved. If I had to go down a list of everybody, most quiet and reserved would probably be me and Jay behind the scenes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with comedic actor Rod Minger. And man, I'm loving this. How much does your faith play in your craft?
A lot, actually. Some of the stuff I can only do because I believe I can. I have faith that I can pull that off. Or even, and not just the work itself, just the scenario. Up until May 2019, I was on a cruise ship for almost 3 years. And I sat on that cruise ship and I started writing down my vision board stuff. Okay, when I get home, I'm going to start doing videos. When I get home, start doing comedy. When I get home, I want to get on national television. And I started coming home, I started checking those things off. I got home, I was on television within 7 days. As soon as I got home, my agent sent me my first audition and I booked it within 7 days. I had a comedy show within 7 days. I was doing skits within a month. I mean, stuff just started rolling. And then, all that was because of faith. I had faith that I could do all those things. And then same thing, when I met my fiance, so I was like, yo, man, if I get a girl that makes me feel a certain type of way, I'm going to know right offhand. And that was all faith-based. So I just always believe, man, I believe I can move a mountain, man. And that's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. That is incredible. And I know you got to get back to your shooting, Rod, but why don't you, what would you say to someone that wants to do, because I do believe that I love the YouTube platform. I mean, I have 2 talk shows on it, and you mentioned Alabama. I have another show, and my co-host is from Huntsville.
Okay.
So
I'll be down there soon, comedy show.
Okay, well, I would definitely let her know and connect you guys.
Oh, that'd be
But
awesome.
what would you say to someone that wants to, start their own show or create their own show and do the whole YouTube thing? What advice would you give to them?
Pick up the pen and just start. Half the battle is picking up the pen and starting. And it sounds so simple and it sounds almost sarcastic. But I don't know if you've seen, I wrote a drama series on my page called We Can't Be Friends. I wrote that one day sitting on the patio, sitting outside talking to my fiance. And I was like, man, I want to do a series about this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And she had her phone out. I thought she was texting. And she took down all the notes. The next day we were sitting out eating because we were quarantined. And she's like, hey, Rod, that idea you had on it was dope. You should type it out. Get your laptop out. Let's type it out right now. I'm gonna go through the notes you gave me. And I sat there and I started typing it up. And then I submitted it to this editor and this producer. And she's like, yo, that's awesome. Let's shoot it. And we got together and shoot it. And now that thing has done over 200,000 views. Something all I did was pick up the pen. So now I'm picking up the pen again. I'm about to do it again. I'm gonna close out the spring with comedic series. And then going into the summer, I'm gonna do 2 drama series simultaneously during the summer.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. And I own a couple of businesses, and I always tell people always ask what's the most difficult thing about starting a business, and everybody always says it's the money. It's not the money. It's
The
getting
mental.
started. It's
Getting
getting started. You
Yep.
gotta take that first step.
Correct.
Everything else will come if you take that first step and get started.
Yeah, and if you ever want to see me a Cash App, James, you know my Cash App, man. Just send it over. Give me a little bit of that business money, man. Go ahead.
You got it, Dr. Rod.
My man, I appreciate it.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can see you, where they can, give out your information, all of that good stuff, man? Because let me just say, I look forward to this. The interview I did before this was with Dr. George Frazier, but
nice.
I was so anxious to meet you because I was like, this dude is like, it's just something special. But in my opinion, you know how they say people have it,
Right.
you have it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I definitely appreciate you tuning in and sharing your platform with me and all that. And those that are watching this, I'll see this later. You can follow me on Instagram at rod.minger. That's ROD.MINGER. It's like finger with an M. It's the same thing on Facebook, same thing on Twitter. And then my YouTube is the same thing, youtube.com/Rod Minger. I would love y'all to go on there, like, subscribe, share, tell somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody else that knows somebody else that my stuff is hilarious, and share it with them and keep it going and circulating. So this time next year, when we meet again, I have almost over 100,000.
Well, how about we do this, Dr. Rod? When you hit 100,000, come back and be a guest, and let's do this all over again.
Okay, let's do that. So that means we'll be doing this around November.
Okay, you got it. You guys, Dr. Rod will be back in November. And why don't you go ahead and drop that Cash App?
Oh, man. Oh, good, man. Definitely appreciate it, James, man.
You got it, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rod Minger, the next big comedic superstar. God bless you, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
I know you guys enjoyed that. Wow. Rod Minger, his brother's a funny brother, and you guys definitely please check it out. And all of the people that he works with that we mentioned. And once again, shout out to Jessica. I forgot to tell Dr. Rod to tell Jessica I said hello. But you guys, check them out and let's support them. Let's support them, and what they're doing. Rod Minger on YouTube, and you will see all of the other hilarious people that he worked with. So that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone that, please share this. Subscribe to Words of Wisdom TV network, Expect to Win TV. And I had a great time tonight. Had a great time. I want to say to all of the women out there, as we come to the end of uh, International Women's Month, that you guys are so awesome and appreciated. And I have some shirts that I wear to salute certain women that I admired their talent. And the shirt I have on tonight is with Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. And Tammy Terrell died on March 16th, 1970. She was an incredible singer, and I just want to pay tribute at the end of this International Women's Month. And my prayer is that God bless all you strong queens, you women out there, the women that are part of my life, my friends, my daughter, my sister, my aunts, all of the incredibly strong women that I know. I say you guys deserve more than a month. And I ask my prayer that God bless you. And we need you. As men, we need you. We need you women now more than anything, especially the black men. We need you women more than ever. So I am James Thomas Sr., and I am the host of Words of Wisdom Distinguished Speaker Series. And we are here every other Sunday at 5 p.m. So subscribe so that you will be informed of our next guest. And God bless you. Make sure that whatever you do and all that you do, always expect to win. Go into it expecting to win. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. I'll see you next time here on Words of Wisdom TV Network, live from Los Angeles.